I'm live, baby. This is Jim Porter or Skeptical Spectrum. I don't want anybody to know my real name, but that's too late. I gave a really hot looking title to get you to watch my stream because I have a break and nothing else to do. I'm not sure that I'm sure I'm a liberal, but I don't think I can show you anywhere where I pwned anybody. Well, I probably have, but not on video. I'm just here to kill a little bit of time. I am a person who believes that we should all be working for the betterment of every other human being on the planet. And I am angry at people or the fact that people think otherwise. I think everybody actually thinks they're trying to do the best for everybody. Some of them probably fool themselves in thinking that doing what's best for them is best for everybody else. And then the rest of us probably feel like doing things for others is good for us. And I just want to say that we should also understand that we have to do some good for ourselves. I'm not against that. What I am against is people saying, let's lower taxes and then we will be better off, when the only way the government really lowers taxes is by not taxing hyper wealthy people and hyper wealthy corporations. Okay. So I guess I'm riffing now. Isn't that's really cool? I'm riffing like a guitar player. They have actual riffs. And but they don't get stuck like I feel right now. I've seen people recently talking about the whole OxyContin or no, what's the big one? Fentanyl right now, which they call fentanyl. And I don't like them calling it fentanyl because all suggests that it's an oil and it's not an oil. I don't know what YL means as a let me look it up real quick. You just stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Do not change your channel. Do not turn me off. Turn me on, baby. What does the prefix YL, got to put a dash there. Stay. Don't go. Stay. Don't go anywhere. Um, Comment down below if you need to keep yourself busy. YL mean in chemistry. We all have to learn this stuff, right? Boo! I don't like the results I got. It's just, what the heck? YL? It's got to tell me what I want to know. This is really bothering me. You should keep your eyes on here because I want to get, millions of hits and not have to do anything but be. Oh, I'm going to ask Chat GPT. This you're learning while I'm learning. What does the suffix? I think I put prefix last time, which makes me smart. Mean in chemistry. No wonder Google got so confused. Let's see what happens now. To note a functional group derived from a parent compound by removing a hydrogen atom. I can't believe you didn't know that. That's why I have little respect for you and a lot of respect for you. Essentially, it indicates a radical or substituent derived from an alkane by removing one hydrogen atom. But duh, like, it makes me so sick that everybody didn't know that. Do not call it fentanyl, or you're going to be buying the wrong thing, okay? The cartels are very strict about this. There's a lot of people out there buying the wrong thing. That's really what's killing them. And by the way, to be serious, you don't die from fentanyl by touching it. Okay, you don't die. It's not. It's powerful, but only if you administer it. In some real way of administering a freaking drug, not by touching it. Some drugs work by touching, like the little patches we use and stuff like that. This one doesn't do that. Okay, maybe they'll make a nice strong fentanyl patch, and when they do, you let me know. Okay, just contact me at Skeptical Spectrum. Okay, so for example, if you take a methyl group, CH3, right? CH3 right? Because the numbers matter, is derived from methane, CH4. How did you get that? You removed one of the H's, which is a hydrogen atom. Ethyl group C2H5, and it's got a little minus sign after it, dash. Maybe it's because it comes before another chemical and they chunk together and make an amazing thing. But the point is, CH25 is derived from ethane. That's a real thing, ethane. You can call it ethane or ethane. And it's C2H6 that it's derived from, right? The dash afterwards means it wants to link up from something because you took a hydrogen out and it needs like some positive ion, I think, or some negative ion or something, and some ion. Okay, I don't care, positive, negative, whatever feels right for you. Am I still on? I'm still on. You should be listening. I don't know how to know if anybody's listening, but I really think I'm much of myself. And so obviously, I'm assuming that thousands of people, I don't see anybody chatting. Maybe I was supposed to enable the chat. I mean, I don't know. Where are you people? Start Q&A. Start a poll. Start Q&A. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, hi, uh, people. Let's see what happens if I did that. Okay, I got to push the blue. You should be able to just hit the return sign, the enter sign, the carriage return, what they used to call when there were things called typewriters in the good old days when women had to get married at age 19. Okay, so now it's saying hover your mouse over a question. No, no, no. So you can tell I'm a hardcore liberal, like commie liberal, right? I want to say that a commie is a person who wants their ability to vote for where their taxes go. And that is not really happening in America. You have very wealthy or somewhat wealthy, and I'll tell you how they get wealthy. They get wealthy through donations and by promises to big jobs, and then little bitty bribes that you really don't know when they're getting them and how and all that, because that's how you do bribes. You do them in secret, right? You've got a lot of legislators, you've got your Alitos, you've got your Clarence Thomases who are getting lots of bribes, which is a lot of money for them. But what they can give back to the bribers is laws that give them cashillions of money. And that's cashillions spelt cash, illions in big burlap bags they give them to each other. And that is the exact problem with what's going on in America today. There's this thing called Republican versus Democrat, where the Republicans think they're asking for tax breaks. Who's asking for real tax breaks is Democrats or left leaning people, because we want the tax money added up into a big pot, and then we go to vote for the candidate that says he or she's going to use it for the right thing. And if they don't use it for the right thing once they get in office, we elect a different one. Except sometimes we elect the same dip ass shit because the Republicans, because I happen to be a Democrat now, I registered finally like a couple elections ago because I was afraid I wanted Obama to win, or maybe no, maybe it was to keep Trump from winning or something. I forget why I voted, but anyway, now I'm registered as a Democrat. And I think that people on the left want money to be used wisely and given back to us. And there's a lot of people out there that are not getting, like there's very, very poor people that have zero problem with the corporations and the billionaires getting all the tax breaks. And when I say all the tax breaks, I'm exaggerating. I really mean all the tax breaks. I was under exaggerating at the time. Now I'm back in black. So listen to a sane, wise person. I don't think that people on the right are stupid. I don't think people on the left are stupid, and I don't think people in the middle are stupid. I just think the libertarians are stupid. No, actually, that's not exactly true. I think that we are all generally smart enough but we don't know everything. And we don't have the time and energy to sit down at a table and put all the facts together and see what they mean all the time. So we have to argue with each other so we can hear the other person's facts, whether we like them or not. And then we have to rebut them. And then when we start to feel convinced by what someone else is saying, there's two things you got to do: embrace the fact that you might have been wrong. But another one is make sure you're not listening to someone who's just a real salesperson. I'm not. I'm not. If I was a real salesperson and I had the ability to make chunks and chunks of money, I would probably want to pay my fair share of taxes because I would just keep making chunks and chunks of more money. And at some point, it's going to be enough. But I wouldn't make videos like this. I would make videos of me like skiing naked in Ruba, which doesn't exist, in Aruba, in some place somewhere else. Or you'd see me in the news giving amazing things to good people. Let's talk about Palestine because I just want to be able to relax for a few minutes and just chill and talk about Palestine a little bit and how there's an actual genocide going on. I've talked to some loved ones recently. I am always trying to expand who I talk to and who I can talk to about politics. If you're not talking about politics, you're not with people you can trust, or you don't feel like you're with people you can trust. If you are with people you can trust, that does not mean you're with people that agree with you. It means you're with people that can still possibly have an argument with you, even a loud one or a contentious one, and say, yeah, but I'll see you in a couple of weeks, or I'll go up there and all that stuff. And believe it or not, when you get with a friend, if you've argued enough times, after a while, they'll sound more like talks. But the information you're transferring to each other is hard to count, hard to quantify. There's a lot of information going just from having someone you don't feel threatened by, you don't think is going to shoot you, you don't think is going to beat you up, continue to chat with you about this stuff. I'm not getting enough. Hey, listen, I'm not getting enough viewership. So I just really am disappointed in all of you, which means zero of you, actually, because you probably are working right now because you don't have a lunch break. You probably do have a lunch break right now and you're not using it to watch me because it's 12:12 where I am. And it depends on where you are. But I'm just saying anybody in my time zone should be watching this. So let's talk about humility. I don't actually understand what that word means, but I've heard it's a good thing to have, and I'm going to work on it. I looked it up in the dictionary, but just the words didn't penetrate. You know what I mean? Um, Palestine is very simply, and Israel are, you consider them, you should consider them as one people. You can also consider them as two people because there are the bombers and the bombees. Hamas started off the bombing, and then really, except for one episode, there's just no making up. There's no matching how much Israel is killing people indiscriminately. And it's not Israel, it's Netanyahu. There are supporters of Netanyahu in Israel, and there are um, detractors of Netanyahu in Israel. And there's a Israel, Palestine is a diverse place, and there are people of all kinds of cultures there, and there are people of all kinds of religions there. This is a place of amazing people. But no matter how amazing people are, sometimes even amazing people do bad things to other amazing people and ruin everything and ruin everything. Um, There are, I don't know what the stats are anymore, but a lot of the people of Israel, um, and Jewish ones too, don't approve of Netanyahu. And it doesn't start with this. It's not just about the, sort of conflict between the two cultures. Um, what sucks to me too is that we've always, it seems, talked pretty roughly about Jewish people and what we called Arabs, you know. And it's just partly because first Rome, possibly, maybe even first Egypt, but first Rome and Greece loved themselves so much. They were the world powers. And then the UK, once called Britannia, or Britain, really, because it was under Rome or Greece or something where they were called Britannia, Rome. Britain became the big hoot-de-hoo for a long time, right? And then they went invading, like all these so-called, wonderful empires went invading and traveling and building roads and doing all these amazing things that connected populations with other populations, but they would obviously rule the populations that they connected with as much as they could. And that's what Britain did. That's why there exists the United States and all these countries and all these islands around here with these names and other places. Of course, I forgot what Nordic countries also took over places of Africa, and of course, we're just trying to whiten everything, you know, um, which is never, ever possibly going to happen. But we're trying to whiten everything and everyone, and we don't know it. It's just that we're comfortable around white people. I'm blue-eyed, but I'm Puerto Rican also, um, and so this is just the same old hegemony. And America was wanting to participate with Hitler's Nazi Germany for a long time there. And mainly we back then wanted to just have nothing to do with these European wars. They didn't realize that they could reach over. They really didn't realize that Europe could reach over the Atlantic and get us, or that the Asian countries could reach over the Pacific and get us. So we wound up learning quickly what happens. It's happening again, but it's happening in the US. We don't necessarily want to join some fascist country somewhere else. We have a lot of people who don't know they're talking about fascism, but they are talking about fascism. And they're good people. They are good people. And they really believe they're doing the right thing. Some of them believe that there's a God that dictates certain values. So they stick with those values in as much as they know how, because of course they're all over the place. They're all over the place, like conceptually, because of interpreting their scriptures. It's largely a guessing game, really. And so also, but we have motivations to keep our belief systems too, because it can feel really rocky giving up a belief system, but also it can be, where are my thumbs up and my millions of viewers? Okay, so anyway, speaking of power, whether you know that I'm on right now live, get over here and start clicking things to make me happy. But what I'm going to say is that the the suffering will be, I think, greater for the Palestinians, that if they continue to exist after this is all over, than it will be for the Israelis. You know, the problem is that the Israeli government doesn't realize that they're causing themselves really, really, really a lot of shit they're going to have to deal with in the future in terms of emotionally. They are going to suffer what's called moral injury. It's when you do something bad, you think you had to do it, or you really wanted to do it. You did something bad, you hurt a lot of people. And in the moment, it's like being drunk. It feels real good. Like when you're on a ride. When you're having fun all day, but then you get really exhausted. Well, this is worse. You're doing really bad things because you think you have to. I'm trying to see if I can talk with my top teeth showing. That's why I keep making that weird expression. Also, maybe I look weird because I'm more handsome than everybody. So, Israel, the country, is engaging in something that's going to hurt Israel, the country, very badly. They're going to be trying to cover up their feelings of guilt and shame. They're going to wonder if anybody loves them anymore. And if they would just pay attention to the rest of the world and the protesters, they'll realize we're looking out for them. We don't want them to feel like crap after this is all over. And they're going to. And I don't like that to happen for anybody. And I definitely don't like what's going to happen to the survivors of the Palestinian population, if there are any. That's genocide.